My CEO denied my $5,000 bonus while buying a private jet, so I let his entire company expire on a Friday afternoon. Before I tell you how this went down, hit subscribe. If you love real-life revenge stories that actually deliver, and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. I read every single one. Now let me tell you how one no bonus turned into the worst business decision he ever made. They say no one is indispensable, but they usually say that right before they realize they've accidentally deleted their own skeleton. I was the lead systems architect for a mid-sized FinTech firm. For 3 years, I'd been the ghost in the machine, maintaining a proprietary legacy code that handled $200 million in daily transactions. When the company announced record-breaking profits, I asked for a $5,000 bonus, enough to finally pay off my medical debt. My CEO, a guy named Julian who wears $3,000 suits and doesn't know the difference between a cloud and a hard drive, laughed in my face. He told me the budget was tight, then walked into his office to look at brochures for a Gulfstream G500. He thought I was just a cog in his machine. He didn't realize I'm the one who wrote the machine's heartbeat. Julian loved the hustle culture posters. He'd talk about shared sacrifice while eating sushi that cost more than my weekly groceries. I'd built the entire security architecture from scratch, including a specialized encryption layer that kept our clients' data safe. 5,000, David? Really? Julian sighed, looking at his gold watch. We're a team. We all have to tighten our belts. Maybe if you put in more optional overtime, we could talk about it next year. Now go fix my printer. It's making a weird clicking sound. I didn't argue. I went back to my desk, printed out my resignation letter, and set a very specific maintenance trigger in the system. I hadn't sabotaged anything. I simply stopped the automatic renewal of the proprietary security certificates that I personally owned and licensed to the company for a symbolic $1 a year. I walked into Julian's office at 4:30 p.m. on a Friday, the start of a long holiday weekend. I'm done, Julian. Here's my 2 weeks' notice, effective immediately. I'm taking my unused vacation time, so today is my last day. Julian didn't even look up. Fine, leave the laptop with IT. We'll find some kid from a boot camp to do your job for half the price. Just one thing, I said, pausing at the door. The security certificates for the main transaction server expire at 5 p.m. today. They're tied to my personal developer ID. Since I'm no longer an employee, I won't be able to authorize the renewal. Whatever that nerd talk means, just fix it before you leave, Julian snapped. I can't, I smiled. I've already lost access to the admin portal. Have a great weekend. Scene 3, the $200 million silence focus, the total system blackout, the desperate phone calls, and the final contractor fee. At 5:01 p.m., the entire company went dark. The website went offline, the mobile app crashed, and the internal servers locked everyone out. To the rest of the world, the company had ceased to exist. Julian's bootcamp kids realized within 10 minutes that the entire system was encrypted with a key that only one person possessed. My phone started ringing at 5:15 p.m. I let it go to voicemail. At 6 p.m., Julian called from his personal cell sounding like he was having a stroke. David, the system is down. Our clients are losing millions. You have to come back and fix this, I answered while sitting on my balcony with a cold drink. I'm sorry, Julian, who is this? I'm currently on vacation. And as I recall, I'm just a cog, right? I'll give you the 5,000, he screamed. Just get the servers back up. The price has changed, Julian, I said calmly. I'm no longer an employee. I'm a private consultant. My emergency after-hours fee is $50,000, paid up front via wire transfer. Oh, and I want a written apology for the printer comment. Julian paid. He didn't have a choice. I spent 10 minutes fixing a problem I created by simply clicking renew, and then I went back to my vacation. I used the money to pay off my debt and start my own firm. Julian never got his private jet. The board of directors fired him 3 months later for gross negligence. He thought he could build a billion-dollar empire while treating the foundation like dirt. He forgot that when the foundation leaves, the penthouse is the first thing to hit the ground. I didn't storm out. I didn't send a company-wide email. I just sat at my desk for the final 30 minutes of my shift, watching the time remaining counter on the main server dashboard. It was a beautiful digital countdown to a total blackout. I'd spent years keeping the ship afloat with duct tape and genius-level patches, but Julian had made it clear the ship was his, and I was just the water boy. Fine. Let's see how well he swims. I walked into Julian's office at 4:45 p.m. He was on the phone, laughing, probably finalizing the leather interior for his new jet. I placed a single sheet of paper on his mahogany desk. I'm resigning, Julian, effective immediately. He didn't even hang up. He just covered the mouthpiece with his hand. David, not now. We've got the Q4 launch on Monday. Take your burnout to HR and come back when you've had a nap. There is no Monday for me, Julian, I said, my voice steady. I'm taking my 3 weeks of accrued PTO starting now, and then I'm done. My laptop is on my desk. The password is good luck. Julian finally hung up, his face reddening. You think you're being dramatic? We have a whole IT department. You're a middle manager with a laptop. Go home. We'll have your replacement hired by dinner. Before I go, I said, checking my watch. 4:58 p.m. I should mention that the proprietary security certificates for the transaction gateway are registered to my personal developer license. I paid for them out of pocket 3 years ago because the company credit card was at its limit that month. They expire in 2 minutes. Julian leaned back, a smug grin on his face. So, renew them. Use the company card. I can't. I've already deactivated my corporate credentials, and since I'm a private citizen now, the license agreement for the encryption keys has technically been withdrawn. Only the primary key holder, me, can authorize the handshake that keeps the servers talking to the banks. Julian's smile didn't just fade, it evaporated. At exactly 5 p.m., his desk phone, his cell phone, and the intercom all began to scream at once. Julian, a voice crackled over the intercom, the website is down. The mobile app just kicked every user out. We're getting certificate revoked errors across the entire stack. It's all encrypted, Julian. We can't get in. I adjusted my backpack and headed for the door. Sounds like a big team problem, Julian. I'd love to help, but I'm officially on vacation. And I think I hear your printer clicking again by 6 p.m. I was sitting at a quiet bar 3 blocks away, a cold drink in front of me and my phone on Do Not Disturb. Every few minutes, the screen would light up with a frantic notification from the company's Slack, which was still working because it was a third-party app. Server 01, critical failure. Client portal 404, not found. Director of sales, we are losing $10,000 a minute. Where is David? I finally picked up on Julian's 12th call. His voice was no longer arrogant. It sounded like it had been put through a paper shredder. David, thank God. Look, I don't know what kind of stunt you're playing, but the board is on the other line and they are screaming for blood. Get back here and fix the handshake. I'll give you the $5,000 bonus tonight. I took a slow sip of my drink. Julian, you're confused. That $5,000 bonus was for an employee who cared about the Q4 launch. I'm a private consultant now, and my firm doesn't work for bonuses. We work for retainers. What do you want? He hissed. I could hear the sound of his heavy breathing and the frantic typing of the bootcamp kids in the background, trying to crack a 256-bit encryption they didn't understand. The encryption keys are my intellectual property, Julian. To relicense them to the company and provide the 10 minutes of labor it takes to click execute, my fee is $50,000, paid via wire transfer. Oh, and I want it sent to my personal account before I even open my laptop. Check your email. I sent the invoice 5 minutes ago. $50,000? That's extortion. No, Julian, I said calmly. Extortion is forcing someone to work for free. This is just market value for a specialized skill. You said you wanted a team player, but you forgot that every team has a MVP, and you just benched yours. There was a long silence. Then a notification popped up on my phone. $50,000 received. I opened my laptop, typed 3 lines of code into a remote terminal, and hit enter. I didn't even have to leave the bar. Check your servers now, Julian. They should be settling nicely. The company was back online in seconds. The board of directors found out about the tight budget excuse on Monday morning, and they didn't find it nearly as funny as Julian did. They fired him for gross negligence and critical failure of leadership before lunch. He lost his job, his reputation, and that private jet. Me? I used that $50,000 to travel for 6 months. Julian thought I was just a cog in his machine. He forgot that if you don't grease the gears, the whole machine eventually turns into a very expensive pile of scrap metal. Don't worry about me, though. I hear the market for indispensable consultants is at an all-time high.